10 to 20 brothers. As much fun, I knew this was coming. As much fun as we have together, the beauty of this crew is the unified strength of commitment to each other that everyone outside of the group instantly recognizes. I love you guys. Sadly, this is where it gets tough. If you told me to pick a memory of my son that stands out above all others, it is the vision of him in his jumperoo, bouncing up and down like a crazed maniac. Of all the toys that we got him, it was the one that I looked forward to playing with him the most when he was small. I remember asking Sonny one day how old he had to be before I could put him in it, and she said it was too early for him to start using it because he couldn't touch the floor. Determined to get my boy in that jumperoo, I waited for Sonny to go shopping one day, and once she left, I started assembling. When she came back, I was about halfway done with the assembly, and she walked in the door. I felt like the kid who got caught with his hand in the cookie jar when she saw me, but I soldiered on, with her shaking her head the entire time. When I finished putting it together, I grabbed Brody, sat him in the seat, and realized that even though Brody was about the same height as Ed Long and Mike Maloney,
did you say combined?
wow! Oh, he was that.
Wow!
Peter, coming out of nowhere.
His feet were about 8 inches from touching the ground. Sonny looked at me like, "See, stupid, I told you he wasn't old enough." Well, I was determined to get that boy in the jumperoo and make him into a little soccer player at 2.5 months old. So I sat back on the couch and thought about it for a while, and I came up with a solution. I grabbed this giant binder of music CDs and I put it under the jumperoo. I grabbed Brody and I sat him in the seat, and lo and behold, his feet touched the ground, or the top of the CD case. But he just sat there, no jumping, no ruing, not a clue as to why he was hanging in this medieval torture device while his mother gave his father another one of those, God, you're an idiot looks. Not to be deterred, I put my hands under his feet and slowly started to imitate the jumping motion, gently bouncing him up and down. Within a couple of hours, he started learning to do it himself, and within a week or two, he became a maniac pogo stick in the jumperoo. Sometimes he would tire himself out to the point where he would fall asleep while jumping. In fact, he kind of looked like Pat Rouse after a few Grandma dips. His legs got very strong very quickly, and at times I realized I really felt that he might actually jump out of the thing. It's a fair bet that at 5 months he had a bigger vertical than Furlong had in his athletic prime. He was so proud of his ability to. If you left the room while he was in his jumperoo, he would slow down and eventually stop. But the minute you came back and he made eye contact with you and knew you were looking at him, he was jumping again like a psycho. When I close my eyes and think of my son, that's the vision that I cherish. If Brody were with us today, he'd be 14 months old and probably running around like a maniac. He would probably be starting to talk by now, saying a few things like Mommy, Daddy, let's go Cats. I tried to keep him away from Stephen and Andrew because when I would leave them alone with Brody, they would try and teach him words like dingay and anyone who had the chance of meeting him saw that special little glimmer that my boy had about him. There was just something special about Brody, and I don't say that because I'm the proud father bragging about his kid. There really was something magnetic about him. Random people were always intrigued by his sparkling eyes and his brilliant smile that could light up a room with just a glimpse. Girls just fell in love with him. So I knew then he already had more game with the ladies than his Uncle Timmy. I always had a feeling that he was destined to do great things in life, and to this day I still believe that. Maybe the greatness he was destined for is why we're all here today. SIDS is a horrible tragedy to deal with. It takes young and almost always healthy babies from their parents with no warning. There's no sickness, no preparation time, no warning that your life is going to be turned upside down. 1 minute they are there, and literally in an instant they are gone. We will never fully recover from August 7th, 2009. A scar has been created and an emptiness developed that will never fully be filled. We still have each other, our families, and all of you, but we no longer have our little angel with us. And I don't know why. Sadly, no one knows why. By coming together and supporting our cause, maybe we're one step closer to ensuring that no other parents have to go through this. The money raised today is going to fund the research at the University of Virginia led by Dr. Fern Houck and Dr. Michelle Sale. That's right, Berkey. University of Virginia. They hope to find a genetic heredity that predisposes certain kids to SIDS, and once this link is identified, to develop preventative screening and monitoring protocol to minimize the risk of SIDS deaths. When we went to meet Drs. Houck and Sale in Charlottesville to talk about the research they were doing and see if that is how we wanted to use the money from the Brody Andrew King Memorial Fund, we knew almost instantly that it was the perfect union. As we explained the details of his passing and the emotional agony in the time since his death, we actually had to pause on numerous occasions to let everyone stop crying, including the doctors. We knew that anyone who was that emotionally invested in their research and the actual people that it affected was someone worthy of supporting. We are very proud to be involved with them and hope that they are able to realize the breakthroughs that they feel are at their fingertips. Drs. Houck and Sale are going to use the money raised today to fund a presentation to the National Institute of Health in order to request over $1 million in funding to expand their research. If that request is granted, they will become the largest SIDS research project in the United States. Sounds like pretty important work to me. Not bad for a 5-month-old child that I always knew was going to do great things. Thank you guys for coming. We love you. All right, that's enough.